So Jurassic World Rebirth, its first trailer should be 2 weeks away now from today. However, that hasn't stopped us from getting some brand new images in recent times, and also it seems like the articles and news regarding this movie is slowly going up. Today we have an article by Variety.com that gives us an insight as to what to expect from Jurassic World Rebirth. And whilst we do have some images that portray some certain scenes, this article right here actually goes and puts it into perspective what type of scene we should be getting for this movie. Now before we get into the video, I do want to apologise about my appearance. I saw a YouTube comment saying, "Swerve, it's about time you get a haircut." I agreed. So I thought the next time you would see me, I'd actually have a haircut by now. But sadly, there's been a change of plans. So that's why I look quite scruffy. And it's daytime, as you can see outside as well. So it's very, very bright out. Wait, can I actually... Okay, that should be a little bit better. But today we are talking about Jurassic World Rebirth because we got a brand new article randomly late last night, and I did want to tweet about it, but I'll be honest with you, I was so tired, I just read the article and I went straight to sleep. But it's okay, we're here making this video. But just before we get into it, I just want to remind you guys that we do still have our fundraiser, and with only just a week left to go in January, we're hoping to still raise $4,000 in total for the innocent children of Palestine. So if you have the funds and the heart to do so, it's very important to help the children who are really struggling right now in the Middle East. Together we can make a difference, and together we will help a life. Thank you. But for today, let's get into this brand new article by Variety.com to help us learn about what to expect for Jurassic World Rebirth. So this article might not be directly about Jurassic World Rebirth entirely, but at the very end segment from Variety.com, we actually got a bit of information regarding Gareth Edwards, David Koepp and Steven Spielberg, who are all working on the next Jurassic World installment. And so of course we know how big Jurassic is. The interviewer, who was interviewing for a different purpose, had to ask about Jurassic, and this is what they said. "You've returned to the Jurassic franchise to write Jurassic World Rebirth, which releases this summer. What was the impetus behind the homecoming?" And this is what the writer David Koepp had to say. "The first two movies were two of my favourite experiences ever." And Steven said, "What about starting over? Let's try something all new." I said, "Oh, that's a cool idea. What if blah blah blah?" And then I threw an idea back. That's it. It caught. You do that all the time with your friends and collaborators. Throw ideas back and forth. And sometimes they catch. Usually they don't. There is pressure because it's going to cost a lot of money and there are going to be big expectations and blah blah blah. But there was no pressure at first, just the pursuit of our ideas. And since Jurassic World Rebirth is a brand new movie, the interviewer went ahead and said, "There isn't even a source novel you're pulling from for this one, right?" No. I reread the first two novels to get myself back into the mode though. We did take some things from them. There was a sequence from the first novel that we'd always wanted in the original movie, but sadly we didn't have room for. We were like, hey, we got a use for that now. But just to get back in the headspace 30 years later, is it still fun? And the answer is yes, it still really is. Dinosaurs are still fun. Now at first, for somebody who may not really understand the whole complexity of the Jurassic franchise, in the first two novels there are some fantastic scenes, especially in the first one. And for those who don't know, they're a lot more graphic than what we got in the movie. So fans were begging and asking Universal to bring another scene from the Jurassic Park novel into live action. And of course, many people went ahead and asked for Nedry's death scene, which we know is very gruesome. So naturally, when fans of Jurassic read this segment that David Koepp was speaking about, we sit there wondering what kind of scene is this? There's so many scenes to talk about here. We have Nedry's death scene, we have the baby and the compies, but those two, they're very graphic. One literally involves intestines falling out everywhere, and the other one literally describes a baby being pulled apart, skin by small compsognathus. Blood, guts and gore everywhere. So of course we know that those two scenes definitely won't be making the final cut of the movie. But then we move on to a scene that fans have been wanting to see for such a long time. It's not graphic or horrific, so we do know that there is a potential chance here that this very scene could be making its way into Jurassic World Rebirth, especially after what was said here, and that is the River Raft scene. If you guys are unaware of how this scene takes place, essentially Lex, Tim and Alan Grant were going down a river on Isla Nublar in some sort of dinghy. And in that dinghy, the roles were kind of reversed with Lex and Tim from the movie. I believe Lex was the younger one and Tim is the older one in the novels. And Lex was being very loud and awakened a Tyrannosaurus Rex. At first there wasn't too much fear because they're in the water, the Rex is on land, but then the Rex started to swim. And then it was a big action sequence of Lex, Tim and Alan almost dying off because of this Tyrannosaurus Rex that's swimming. They were going down these rapids, they were avoiding the Tyrannosaurus Rex. It just sounds so chaotic, but it's a really good scene. I'm pretty sure there's probably some kind of audio drama of it online somewhere. But either way, this is a scene that fans of the book and the movies have wanted to see for a long time. And if I remember correctly, this was a scene that they intended to put into the original Jurassic Park movie, but unfortunately didn't really have the time to cut it in there. So with the fact that David Koepp said right here that there was a sequence from the first novel that we'd always wanted in the original movie but didn't have room for, I'm fairly certain he is talking about the River Raft scene involving the Tyrannosaurus Rex. And with the T-Rex confirmed to be in Jurassic World Rebirth, I think it's very safe to say that we will finally be getting to see this scene in Jurassic World Rebirth, which is incredible. I'm so excited to see how they're going to portray this. We also know that there is a river sequence as well, we know that there's a water sequence, and we do know that there are some boats involved. And when we look at the BTS photos of Jurassic World Rebirth, they can easily go in a kayak of some kind and take a stroll down a river. And maybe even this photo right here where we see 3 of the main characters walking through a river, perhaps that's just after where they encountered a Tyrannosaurus Rex or maybe even a Spinosaurus in a swampy river. The boat gets damaged and they manage to escape with their lives, but now they have to follow the river on foot instead. I don't know, something like that makes a lot of sense to me. But if we were to assume that maybe this isn't the one that they're specifically talking about, there is one other scene that I have on my mind here that he could be talking about. And to be honest, it's a scene that not many people are actually thinking about themselves because they don't actually know it happened. So you must be wondering, Swerve, what is this scene? Well, there is one scene in the novel where Alan Grant grabs an egg and injects it with some poison and pushes the egg towards the velociraptors. I believe after that the velociraptors start eating the egg and then they kind of die off, but that's kind of like the gist of it, not like a major scene. But when we take a look at one of the very recent images from Jurassic World Rebirth, we see Dr. Henry Loomis extracting something from an egg, at least so we thought. What if instead he's injecting the egg with something? Now initially we thought this egg belonged to a Quetzalcoatlus basically because of the background, the nest, and what we expect to appear in Jurassic World Rebirth. But we didn't expect that maybe he's poisoning the egg in a very similar scene to what we got in Jurassic Park's novel. Now of course this doesn't really sound like a scene that was cut out of the original film, so we do have to keep that factor in mind, but there might have been a possibility that in the first film where Alan Grant sat and looked at the eggs, or at least the broken eggs, maybe that scene in another universe was where he was putting poison into the eggs to perhaps kill off the raptors, who knows. But that's the only other scene that I can think of based off all of the evidence that we have for Jurassic World Rebirth and the previous movies and installments. But if we were to push that aside, it's obvious. It's going to be the River Raft scene, and I'm so excited, I can't wait to see it. So if you're excited to see this brand new scene in Jurassic World Rebirth, then please go ahead and leave a like on this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to keep yourselves up to date with all of the latest news from the Jurassic franchise. Not just Jurassic World Rebirth, we have Chaos Theory Season 3 coming this year, we also have Jurassic World Evolution 3, and of course we have, maybe, I don't know what's happening with it, but maybe we have Jurassic Park Survival coming this year as well. So we have a whole host of Jurassic titles this year to stay tuned in, so make sure you're subscribed for exactly that. But yeah, besides maybe poisoning the egg, it seems ever so likely the River Raft scene is going to finally be appearing in live action. But if you have any other scenes that you think might be taking place from the novel into live action for Jurassic World Rebirth, feel free to let me know in the comments. But most importantly, make sure you're all staying safe out there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Hello, hi, you. Did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder to press that like button and also subscribe. I just want to thank my Patreons for this month on screen right here, as giving me that little extra support really does go a long way. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.